Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. One of the uses of OA savings is for buying house in Singapore. In this video, I will be sharing 4 things you need to know about using OA savings for housing. First of all, let's understand what can we use it for. We can use our OA savings for down payment for property. Certain types of housing has a requirement whereby 5% of the down payment has to be paid in cash. Other than that, the remaining down payment can be paid with your CPF. It can also be used to pay the stamp duty and legal fees that are associated with the purchase of the property. We can also use OA savings for HDB Home Protection Scheme, HPS premiums for HDB flats. Last but not least, we can use our OA savings to repay the monthly home loan installments, irregardless of whether we take out bank loan or HDB loan. If you pay for your HDB loan with CPF, you must be insured under this scheme called Home Protection Scheme. This is a scheme that pays off your remaining mortgage in the event of death, terminal illness, or permanent disability. But you are not covered by HPS if you own an EC or private property. Private property owners can purchase a similar insurance called a mortgage reducing term assurance. It's entirely up to them whether they want it or not. Number 3. There is actually a limit as to how much CPF we can use to buy a house. Let me introduce a few terms here. The valuation limit, VL, is the lower of the property price and valuation. The Cpf Withdrawal Limit, WL, is capped at 120% of the VL. For example, if your house costs 350k but the valuation is 340k, then the VL is the lower of these two amount, which is 340k. And then the withdrawal limit will be 120% of 340k, which will be $408,000. Any amount beyond this has to be paid in cash. You might be wondering, why would we need a withdrawal limit that is more than the price of the property? Well, because of interest rates over a long tenure, you will reach your valuation limit at some point and need to repay part of your home loan with cash. Generally, the amount of CPF savings you can use is capped at VL if the property has a remaining lease that can cover the youngest owner till age 95, irregardless of what type of property you are buying or which loan you are taking. If you wish to use your OA savings beyond the VL, you will need to, first of all, set aside the prevailing basic retirement sum in your OA and SA if you are below 55, or meet the BRS in your retirement account, special account, and OA if you are 55 and above. For property bought from 10 May 2019 onwards, where the property has a remaining lease that does not cover the youngest owner till age 95, this is a table that shows a rough guide on the maximum amount of CPF savings that you can use for your property, which changes with age and the remaining lease of the property. No CPF savings can be used if the remaining lease of the property is 20 years or less at the time of purchase. For multi-property bought from 10 May 2019, you have to set aside the following before using CPF OA funds for your second or subsequent properties. Okay, first of all, the latest BRS if you have at least one property bought using CPF, or the property that you are buying can cover you till age 95. Secondly, the latest FRS if you do not have any property that covers you till age 95. Okay, the maximum amount of CPF allowed depends on whether the remaining lease of that property can cover the youngest owner till age 95. Do note that all these CPF rules might change from time to time, so do check out the CPF website or consult the CPF staff for the latest updates before you buy a property. Okay, last but not least, a lot of people may not know this. When you sell your house, you need to return the CPF monies you used, plus the accrued interest, currently at 2.5% per annum. The reason for this is, if you didn't use the money for housing, leaving the money in the OA would have earned an interest of 2.5% every year. So when you sell away your property, you have to return the amount used to the OA as though the amount has never left the account. Do note that you only need to return the amount you have used, regardless of whether you sold your house for a profit or loss. After all, this is still your money. Okay, after the money is put back to your OA, you can still use the CPF money for your next home. Now that you know about this, you can better plan for your cash flow when you are deciding to sell your house. Let us take a look at a simple illustration. Assuming a couple bought a resale HDB and the purchase price was 600k. The upfront cost of buying that HDB resale is 10% of the down payment, okay, of 60k, which can be paid using CPF. Okay, the buyer's stamp duty of about $12,600. The legal fees about $1,000. Okay, all these upfront costs are being paid by the CPF. Last but not least, the couple had taken out a HDB loan of a total of 540k over a 20 years tenure. Okay, the interest rate of HDB housing loan is at 2.6% per annum. So using the CPF calculator, which I will be sharing the link in the description box below, the estimated monthly installment that this couple has to pay is $2,888. So now let's say the couple chooses to sell their flat at 600k after the minimum occupation period MOP of 5 years, as they would like a change of scenery. So let's see, the total upfront cost that they have used the CPF to pay is $73,600. Okay, the repayment of monthly installment over 5 years amount to 173k. The total amount of CPF used over that 5 years is 246k880. Okay, accrued interest on top of this 246k would be $30k860. That will bring us to a total amount to be returned to CPF upon sale of flat of $277,000. The outstanding loan principal after 5 years is $430k. When the couple receive the proceeds of 600k, right, they have to use this 600k to first return the outstanding loan principal of 430k, followed by the returning of the CPF amount that they have used for the past 5 years, including the accrued interest, which amounted altogether to 277k. After which, the couple will see a negative cash flow of 107k. So what this means is the couple will have to return this amount in cash to their CPF OA account. Of course, this money ultimately belongs to them and they can still use the CPF money that they returned for their next home. Okay, but at the point where they sold the house, they need to have the cash on hand to be able to return to their CPF accounts. And also, depending on the next house that they are purchasing, they may also need extra cash for the down payment. A higher amount of down payment needs to be paid in cash if they were to buy a private property. I may have exaggerated a bit in this illustration, where I assume the couple did not make any profits from the house when they sold it. If you are able to sell the house at a good profit, then you might not even run into a negative cash flow. But I hope you guys get the idea. So conclusion, plan ahead before using your CPF for home loans payment. I'm not trying to say that do not use CPF for repayment of your loan installment. Personally, I do use my CPF for my loan installment, okay? But it is important to know the implication of using CPF for the repayment of this loan installment, because people often think that since they can use their CPF to pay the monthly loan installment, they can splurge on other expenditures, but they end up not saving enough cash to pay back their OA when they sell the house. Think of using the money in OA as taking a loan from your future self. Okay, the amount of OA you used is the amount you borrowed from your future self at 2.5% per annum. Okay, that way you will continue to live modestly and able to save out more so that you will be able to upgrade to a more expensive property in the future. That's all for today's video. If you like this video, please click on the like button so that it can reach out to more people. Thank you for watching. Bye!